Alright, so today we're going to show you on how to build a kid's bike. Firstly, there's a few tools needed: set of Allen keys, 15mm spanner, 10mm spanner and snips. Now, most non-geared kids bikes will arrive like this. All geared bikes supplied by Wheelies will be built. So first thing you need to do is snip some of the cable ties. So then what you're left with is this. You've got your front wheel, the handlebars and your seat and seat post. So first thing first, what we need to do is get your 6mm Allen key. These will vary on majority of the bikes. So using the Allen key, loosen the 4 bolts off the stem faceplate. Once this is off, offer your handlebars up to the stem. What you'll find on the handlebars, there are markings on here to make sure you get the bars where they should be. And there you have it. Alright, so once you're happy with the bars, what we need to do is fit the front brake cable. So in order to do this, if we flip the bike around the other way, you've got your front brake cable which comes in the pedal box. And then what we need to do is fit the lever first. This can be a bit fiddly. Push the outer cable housing right the way up. And then with the other side of the cable, if we slide that up through here, just like a needle and thread as such. Again, outer housing cable, tuck that right up tight, make sure you're happy. Now if we grab a 10mm spanner and loosen this nut here, what you'll find on the back of this nut, there's a little hole. Again, just like a needle and thread. If you compress the caliper slightly and pull the cable up and through, pull that so it's quite tight, make sure you've got no slack ends. And then basically just nip that bolt up. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is fit your front wheel. So what we need to be careful of is the washers have little holes here which they need to be fitted into. So if you loosen off the nuts, slide that in. Again, making sure that the washer is sitting in that hole there. Same for the other side. So you can just do them finger tight for now. Make sure they're all the way in the dropouts. 15mm spanner. And just nip them up accordingly. Make sure you're happy with the wheel spinning. And your front wheel's on. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is fit your seat post. In order to do this, if you flip the bike back the other way around, as you can see, it's starting to look a bit more like a bike. Now I'm using a bike stand here. You can rest this against the wall. If you remove the little plastic bung from the internal of the seat post, there's also one in the pedal crank arm, and there's also one on the end of the seat post. So what I would advise, if you use grease on the end of the seat post and grease in the internal of the frame, you may have to loosen the 5mm Allen key bolt off. And if you nip that up, make sure the saddle is quite straight. And that's your saddle fitted. This can be adjusted at a later date if required. Alright, so now that we're happy that your saddle's fitted, the next thing we need to do is fit your pedals. Now with the pedals, obviously it comes in right and left. This is normally specified on the end of the threaded axle here. So with the right hand one, we're going to turn this clockwise. This normally comes on the drive side, which is the chain side. So just make sure there's no resistance there. Once we're happy, if we just tighten that up accordingly. And for the left hand side, we need to turn that anti-clockwise and repeat the same for that. So now that we're happy the pedal's on, what we need to do is look at the front brake to make sure that it's spinning freely and it works. If you do need to adjust this, then what we need to do is, if we loosen off this nut here, pull the cable as tight as you can, and then this should bring the brake box in towards the wheel, which will help this function correctly, like so. So your front brake's working, your saddle's on, the bike's nearly ready to go. Last thing we need to do is pump the tyres up to the minimum PSI pressure, which is 35 PSI. Once that's on, that's how you build your bike. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to check out the full range of kids bikes at wheelies.co.uk.